Customize color pickers and switches. Customize color pickers and switches. How to customize the color pickers and swatches, and how to change the color picker. By the way, instead of using the Adobe Color Pickers, you can choose colors from your computer operating systems, standard color pickers, or from a third-party color picker. And you have to choose Edit and then choose Preferences, then General if you use Windows, and if you use Mac OS, you have to choose Photoshop, then Preferences, then General. And number two, choose a color picker from the color picker menu, and then click OK. And how to add and delete color swatches. How to add and delete color swatches. You can add or delete color swatches from the swatches panel, and you can also add a color swatch from the color picker by clicking the Add to Swatches button. And how to add a color to the swatches panel. We have steps. Step number 1. Decide which color you want to add and make it the foreground color. Step number 2. Do one of the following. Click the New Swatch button in the swatches panel. Alternatively, choose New Swatch from the swatches panel menu and position the pointer over an empty space in the bottom row of the swatches panel, and the pointer turns into the paint bucket tool, and click to add the color and enter a name for the new color, and then click OK. So color selected from image in the left. This screenshot now, this picture, the color selected from image in the left side and added to swatches panel in the right side. And Creative Cloud only. Choose Load Swatches from the panel menu, and then in the load window, navigate to an HTML and CSS or CFG file and click OK. And Photoshop will read the color values, by the way, specified in the documents. This feature recognizes the following HTML and CSS color syntax, like this syntax now. And do not, and be careful, new colors, by the way, are saved in the Photoshop Preferences file, and so that they presets between editing sessions to permanently save a color and save it in a library. And how to delete a color from the swatches panel. If you would like to delete the color from the swatches panel, what should you do? Do one of the following. Drag a swatch to delete icon. Then hold down Alt if you use Windows, or Option if you use Mac operating system. Then position the pointer over a swatch. The pointer turns into scissor and click. And how to manage swatch libraries. Swatch libraries, by the way, provide an easy way to access different sets of colors, and you can save custom sets of swatches as a library for reuse. And you can also save swatches in a format for sharing in other applications. And how to load or replace a library of swatches. You have to choose one of the following from the swatches panel menu. We have many options. We have option number 1, load swatches. Load swatches, add a library to the current set of swatches and select the library file you want to use and click load, then click load. And how to replace swatches. If you'd like to replace swatches, replaces the current list with a different library, and then select the library file you want to use, then click load. And Photoshop gives you the option of saving the current set of swatches before replacing them. So what about name of a color library option? Loads a specific color system listed in the lower part of the swatches panel menu, and you can either replace or append the current set of colors with the library you are loading. And save a set of swatches as a library. How to save a set of swatches as a library? You have to choose Save Swatches from the Swatches panel menu. Then choose a location for the swatch library. Then enter a file name. Then you have to click Save. and you can save the library anywhere. And however, if you place the library file in the presets and the swatches folder in the default presets location, the library name, by the way, will appear at the bottom of the swatches panel menu after you restart the application. How to return to the default library of swatches? How to return to the default library of swatches? You should choose Reset swatches from the swatches panel menu, and you can either replace or append the current set of colors with the default swatch library. And how to share swatches between applications. How to share swatches between applications. You can share the solid swatches you create in Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign by saving a swatch library for exchange, and the colors appear exactly the same across applications as long as your color setting and synchronized. And in the swatch panel, create the process and spot color swatches you want to share, and remove any swatches you don't want to share. And be careful here. You can't share the following types of swatches between applications: patterns and gradients, and the registration swatch from Illustrator or InDesign, and book color references, HSP and XYZ, donate, monitor RGB and opacity and total length, and web RGB swatches from Photoshop. These types, by the way, of swatches are automatically excluded when you save swatches for exchange. Number 2. Select Save Swatches for exchange from the Swatches panel menu and save the swatch libraries in an easily accessible location. Number 3. Step number 3. Load the swatch library into the Swatches panel for Photoshop and Illustrator or InDesign.